Longines is known for presenting high-quality watches for attractively lower prices. The brand recently made waves with its Hydroconquest, but today we have new entries into its Master Collection, with 30mm, 34mm, 39mm, and 41mm time and date variants, a refined 41mm Chrono Moonphase, and arguably the showstopper, a new 41mm Chrono Monopusher. Yep, a Monopusher from Longines. With the brand's strong run of refinements and novelties as of late, does the updated Master Collection live up to all the buzz Longines has been generating? Let's get into it. In recent years, we've seen watches get better and better, updated calibers, longer power reserves, better dials and bracelets, more micro adjustment, and a more expansive range of color and material expressions. But we've also seen prices continue to rise and rise as well. Brands once synonymous with being value-driven, starting to have a bit of an asterisk against that potentially former badge of honor for them. One brand, however, I say with certainty, has left zero doubt on its mission to bring higher quality watches at a maintained value-driven price point is Longines. The Hydroconquest was arguably one of the most successful launches of the year, dominating the conversation the day it launched, a democratically priced diver at just over $2,000 despite having a range of fan favorite colors, ceramic bezel inserts, favored 39mm and 42mm size options, refined bracelets with micro adjust clasps, and a robust 72-hour automatic movement. I'm quickly giving the Hydroconquest a shout because it affirms what Patrick, Longines CEO, expressed to Andrew in an interview, a desire to dominate the entry luxury sweet spot, to offer the best while being accessible, all without compromising quality and tradition. It was a high bar setting launch that gives context to what all tuned into the brand are now expecting from it, and what the brand, all the way up to the top, knows it needs to deliver to keep its promise. We have 8 of the new Master Collection references on the table, 3 different complication expressions, so to work our way through them, let's start with the smallest and work our way upward. The new 30mm and 34mm Master Collection models, for many of you watching, may feel like a cliff note in the larger story as they are smaller watches, but it's not something to be dismissed by any means. A quick run through on the specs: the 30mm models are 9.1mm thick and 36.8mm lug to lug, while the 34mm size clocks in at 9.3mm thick and 41.5mm lug to lug. Both cases are 30 meters water resistant, and both house automatic movements exhibited through their case backs. The 30mm model has a 45-hour movement, and the 34mm model a 72-hour movement, each equipped with a silicon balance spring to better resist against magnetism. So despite diamonds on the dial, in some instances set on a sunburst finish backdrop and others mother of pearl, where other brands would have just stuck a quartz movement inside and just called it a day, Longines not only went automatic, but gave even down to the 30mm size a silicon hairspring to ensure the watches, no matter how small, were done justice. And it's worth calling out the barleycorn pattern border on both dial styles, because first off, the barleycorn pattern is a signature of the Master Collection range, and second, on a mother of pearl surface, getting that pattern on it, it's a more fragile surface, and that's no easy feat. The watches are available on either a leather strap or a case-matching bracelet, and the bracelet in both sizes features a fine adjustment system in its butterfly clasp. Pricing starts at $2,900 for the 30mm size and $3,100 for the 34mm size. The 39mm and 41mm time and date models have also received the case and bracelet refinement afforded to their smaller counterparts. Cases and bracelets that have been refined to have not just curved but concave surfaces to create a new sense of fluidity and depth, and a bracelet with fine adjustment in the butterfly clasp as well. But with these largely barleycorn pattern dials, we can better see another refinement. The barleycorn pattern has been scaled down, finer in texture, to elevate the elegance factor even more. On the dials, whether in silver, blue, or light blue, you have a near full set of applied hour numerals, only missing a 3 to leave room for the date complication. Understandably, on the blue dials, the hands are left in a silvered polished form for contrast, but the silver dial features a long-standing signature of the Master Collection: blued steel central hands, along with blued applied hour indices. In the 41mm size, you can also find an Arabic dial configuration for both the applied numerals and date wheel. It's not something you see every day from bigger name brands, and especially at this price point. In terms of fit, the 30-meter water-resistant cases clock in at 39 millimeters in diameter, 9.4 millimeters thick, and 46.1 millimeters lug to lug, and 41 millimeters in diameter, 9.5 millimeters thick, and 48.7 millimeters lug to lug. Inside and exhibited within both sizes, you have the Longines exclusive automatic L888.5 movement with 72 hours of power reserve and a silicon balance spring. And fun fact, it's the same movement that's inside the 34 millimeter model. In terms of pricing, the 39 millimeter models are $2,650 US, while the 41 millimeter models are $2,750 US, regardless of whether you go for the leather strap or the bracelet. So I would highly recommend you go for the bracelet and sort out either a 20 millimeter or 21 millimeter leather strap later, should you wish to, explore other options. Okay, now we get to the chronographs. The new refined Chrono Moonphase is available with a silver dial that has the new, finer barleycorn engraved pattern. There's a lot to take in with the dial, and more than the name suggests. Yes, you have a chronograph and moonphase indication, but you also have day and month indications, along with the date complication and a 24-hour indicator as well. The moonphase shares the 6 o'clock dial real estate with the 12-hour elapsed hours counter for the chronograph. At 9 o'clock, you have a running seconds counter that also indicates a 24-hour scale for some AM/PM action. And at 12 o'clock, the day and month are displayed through apertures framed within a 30-minute elapsed minutes counter for the chronograph. And for the calendar date, a crescent-tipped hand extends out from the center of the dial to the calendar scale on the outer perimeter of the dial. As you would now expect, the applied hour indices and all of the hands, small or large, have been blued. So, how big is the case considering all of the complication packed in it? The 30-meter water-resistant stainless steel case is 41 millimeters in diameter, a very reasonable 13.8 millimeters thick, and an also reasonable lug-to-lug span of 48.6 millimeters across the wrist. And the caliber driving all of it is the Longines exclusive automatic column wheel chronograph caliber L687.5 with 66 hours of power reserve and a silicon balance spring. In terms of straps, you can purchase the watch on a blue leather strap with a folding clasp that features micro adjustment, or you can purchase it on a case matching bracelet that also features micro adjustment in the clasp. And all of this is just $4,250 US. We've now arrived at the showstopper. All of the previous watches are great, but this new design, the newest of the group, you could say, is very special. With the Chrono Monopusher, not only does Longines bring a seldomly seen style of chronograph to its more accessible price segment, but it also pays tribute to the roots and origins of its watchmaking. Like the Chrono Moonphase, the new Chrono Monopusher has a design inspired by a watch from 1911, notably one of the first chronographs designed to be worn on the wrist. Longines would further refine the concept in 1913 with the caliber 13.33Z, which the brand explains is recognized as the first compact size chronograph movement worldwide. This technology would go on to be used by famed aviators such as Amelia Earhart and Richard Byrd to help guide their flights. It was a big deal. A monopusher, rather than the chronographs we are more accustomed to today, centralizes the start, stop, and reset in one pusher, in this instance embedded within the crown. Monopusher chronographs were not just tools for aviators of the era, but also engineers, military servicemen, and doctors, which explains why Longines opted for a pulsometer scale on the dial rather than the more common tachometer scale we see on chronos today. A fun twist that makes the offering more distinct than it already inherently is. The 30-meter water-resistant stainless steel case measures 41 millimeters in diameter, 12.6 millimeters thick, and 48.6 millimeters lug-to-lug across the wrist. For your dial options, you have the refined barleycorn pattern executed with what Longines calls a silver opaline dial and rose-toned hands and indices that ultimately the dial I would describe as more like an ivory-like hue. Very classic in expression. Or you also have a frosted blue dial that has a more modern feel and is on trend for what is a very popular dial hue these days in the market with watch buyers. Two eye-pleasing and dial-balanced counters assume the 9 and 3 o'clock positions, with the running seconds indicated on the left and the 30-minute elapsed minute scale for the chronograph on the right. Each dial variant is paired with a leather strap, brown for the silver opaline model to drive home the classic feel and match the tone of the dial, and anthracite for the frosted blue dial to best fit the more modern expression of the dial and also let that dial be really the star of the show. Both straps feature a folding clasp with a micro adjustment system. Exhibited inside is the Longines exclusive column chronograph caliber L799.5 with 68 hours of power reserve. It's a manually wound caliber, contributing to keeping the watch under 13 millimeters thick and also making the design feel that much more vintage, mechanically speaking at least. And all of this will only set you back $3,900 US. Excluding vintage pre-owned or burgeoning micro brands, finding a Monopusher chronograph from a big name brand with centuries of watchmaking history at this kind of price is very far and few. Once again, an example of Longines making a high quality watch more accessible to watch buyers around the world. So there you have it. This is the latest from the Master Collection range. Across the collection, whether 30 millimeters or 41 millimeters, it's clear Longines is really invested in the details watch geeks love to nitpick and tear apart. To have such an expansive range of complications, an elevated, elegant, and refined aesthetic that would make anyone think you're wearing a much more expensive watch, strong calibers regardless of case diameter, and fine adjustment systems or micro adjustment systems in every strap or bracelet clasp, like, we really have to give credit where it's due. I think we can all agree that Longines gets top marks for how it has redesigned the Master Collection and the pricing it's all positioned at. But now I turn it over to you. Which is your favorite model in the updated new Master Collection range? Let me know in the comments. I think mine is, I think it's the silver opaline Monopusher. But I suspect many of you will probably favor the frosted blue. Let me know if I'm wrong. But that being said, I also really like the Chrono Moonphase as well. The silver dials with the full set of blued hands and indices, to have that like added punch and distinction, it's hard to ignore. For the full pricing and specifications of the new Master Collection range, check out the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the Time+Tide channel for all the latest watch news, reviews, and content. And as always, see you on the next one.